You found it. The used car with the low miles, clean interior, and just enough extras to feel like a steal. But here's the hard truth. Some of the best-looking deals on the market are ticking time bombs. Under the surface, hidden behind shiny paint and clever marketing, are engineering nightmares so serious that even professional mechanics avoid them. Cars that appear flawless during a test drive and end up draining your wallet within months. In this video, I'll reveal 7 used cars that seem like smart buys, but are actually among the riskiest you can own. We're talking recurring issues, expensive repairs, and flaws baked right into their design. And don't assume this list is full of old junkers. Far from it. Some of these are recent models. Popular. Award-winning even. But ask any honest technician, and they'll tell you the same thing. Run. We'll break down what goes wrong, when it happens, how much it costs to fix, and why these problems catch so many people off guard. So if you're thinking about buying used anytime soon, or just want to avoid a $4,000 mistake, stick around. Because the car at number 1? It's so problematic, some mechanics won't even touch it. Let's get started. Citroën C3 Aircross. Kicking off our countdown is the Citroën C3 Aircross, a compact crossover that seems to have it all. Eye-catching French design, great cabin space, and a fuel-efficient 1.2-liter PureTech engine. It's a favorite in the used market thanks to its quirky style and wallet-friendly specs. But don't let the charm fool you. This is one of the most deceptive cars you'll find in this price range. The real problem? That engine. Early versions of the 1.2-liter PureTech use a wet timing belt, a design meant to reduce noise and improve durability by running the belt inside the engine oil. In practice, it backfired. These belts degrade far earlier than expected, releasing rubber particles that circulate through the oil system. That sludge clogs vital components, reduces oil pressure, and wears down the internals far too quickly. And the signs don't show up right away. Owners report sudden check engine lights, strange ticking noises, and unusual oil consumption, often before 40,000 miles. By the time you catch it, you may already be facing a complete belt and oil system overhaul, turbo and oil pump inspection. In severe cases, full engine teardown. Many buyers spot a C3 Aircross online. Low mileage, nice trim, great price, and think they've found the ideal urban SUV. But unless there's solid proof the timing system was replaced by the book, you're likely inheriting an expensive problem. So while the C3 Aircross may look like a smart used buy, behind the cheerful design is a serious reliability flaw. Ford EcoSport. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine bought a used Ford EcoSport last summer. Low mileage, turbo badge, clean interior. It looked like a steal. Fast forward 4 months, the car's in the shop. Again. This compact SUV was Ford's answer to urban drivers who wanted crossover looks without SUV bulk. On paper, it's a great match for city life. Raised seating, nimble steering, and a turbocharged 1.0-liter EcoBoost engine that's won awards. But here's the catch. That same engine is infamous for overheating issues. The root cause? A fragile cooling system that simply can't keep up. The coolant reservoir is small, the flow isn't optimized, and the engine runs hot, especially in stop-and-go traffic or during summer heat waves. The result? You get what mechanics call the slow boil effect. Temperature spikes go unnoticed. The cylinder head begins to warp. The head gasket starts to fail. Once that happens, you're in deep. Repairs often include full engine strip down, replacing the gasket and possibly the cylinder head, flushing coolant, testing valves, maybe even replacing pistons. The cost? Often more than what the car's worth. Worse still, many EcoSport owners don't notice the issue early enough. The dashboard doesn't scream danger. And by the time you spot it, the damage is already done. So if you're browsing used crossovers and see an EcoSport at a great price, pause for a second. Look for signs of overheating. Ask if the cooling system's ever been flushed or updated. Better yet, walk away. Because no matter how good the deal sounds, you shouldn't need oven mitts to own a car. Nissan Qashqai. You know the type. It's the car everyone recommends. Solid brand, practical shape, not too big, not too flashy. The Nissan Qashqai fits that mold perfectly. It's the go-to SUV for families, new drivers, professionals. It's everywhere. And that's part of the problem. because being popular often hides what's really going on under the hood. Let's talk about the 1.3-liter turbo engine, one of the most common setups in used Qashqais. On paper, balanced, responsive, reasonable on fuel, but in practice, it slowly falls apart on you. Here's how it goes. First 20,000 miles? No problem. By 30,000, you notice the oil dipstick dropping faster than expected. By 40,000, you're topping up oil monthly, sometimes weekly. It's not a small leak, it's engine oil consumption that spirals out of control. And it's not the only issue. The EGR valve, responsible for recirculating exhaust gases, gets clogged fast. That leads to sluggish starts, poor fuel economy, and a nasty drop in throttle response. Add to that a moody ECU, the brain of the car, which often throws false warning lights, cuts power, or needs a reprogram. And suddenly, this safe car feels like it's falling apart in slow motion. And the worst part? These problems sneak up on you. There's no loud bang, no obvious failure. Just an increase in visits to the mechanic, and a balance that keeps going negative. By the time you realize what's going on, the bargain SUV is draining your wallet faster than a luxury lease. So if someone tells you the Qashqai is a smart, low-risk used buy, ask them this. How often are they topping up the oil? Renault's Captur. It looks trendy. It feels modern. And the price tag? Too good to be true. The Renault Captur 1.0 TCE is a favorite among budget-conscious buyers who want something fresh and fuel-efficient. But ask any mechanic and they'll tell you the truth. This compact crossover hides a stack of issues that can chew through your savings before you hit 40,000 miles. Here's the breakdown. Problem number 1. Weak turbocharger. The small turbo on the TCE engine wears out way too soon. Premature failures aren't rare, and replacing it? Upwards of 1,200 euros. Just for the part. Problem number 2. Annoying engine vibration. At idle or in traffic, the engine starts shaking. You feel it in the pedals, the steering, even the seat. It's not dangerous, but it feels cheap, and no fix fully solves it. Problem number 3. Oil leaks. Expect to see oil spots on your driveway. Faulty seals and gaskets leak early and often, even on newer Captur models. The worst part? Many leaks are hard to reach, driving up labor costs. Problem number 4. Glitchy sensors everywhere. Check engine lights, parking sensors, start-stop malfunctions. Owners report constant electrical bugs that kill confidence in the car's reliability, and keep sending them back to the garage. Problem number 5. Fuel economy? Not as advertised. Renault claims it's efficient. In the real world, especially in city traffic, the Captur burns fuel faster than you'd expect for a 1.0-liter engine. So, yes, the Captur looks cool on Instagram, but under that urban cool skin is a long list of technical headaches that turn cheap to own into expensive to maintain. If you're looking at one on a used lot, run through that checklist or run the other way. Opel Mokka. You'd think you're playing it smart. You skip the usual suspects, avoid the flashy French crossovers, and land on the Opel Mokka, stylish, modern, and just different enough to stand out. It looks sharp, drives well. Great badge. What could go wrong? Here's what most people don't know. Under that slick German exterior lies a French engine with a reputation. Yep, the Mokka runs the same, 1.2-liter PureTech engine. We slammed earlier in this list, the one with the wet timing belt problem, the one that's turned too many used cars into financial nightmares. It's the same story all over again. Belt particles breaking down inside the oil-blocked filters, oil starvation, and eventually, a damaged engine that costs a fortune to fix. But the worst part with the Mokka? It tricks you. Unlike Citroën or Peugeot, the Mokka wears a different face. German branding, sharper interior, more premium finishes. Buyers assume they're stepping away from trouble, but the issue is baked into the engine block itself. And once those oil passages start gumming up, the turbo, oil pump, and camshaft follow suit. And good luck finding a mechanic who'll fix it cheaply. This isn't a quick swap. You're looking at a full engine teardown or replacement in the worst-case scenario. So, before you get swept up in the Mokka's clean lines and digital cockpit, dig deeper. Check the service history, Ask if the belt has been replaced and not just inspected, because this SUV might not look French, but under pressure, it definitely bleeds PureTech. Peugeot 2008. At first glance, it checks every box. Bold, futuristic design, compact but practical, full of tech. And that 1.2-liter PureTech engine everyone says is cutting edge. So you go for it. You find a low-mileage Peugeot 2008 at a tempting price. You take it for a spin, smooth, punchy, well-equipped. You sign the papers. You smile. You drive away. Fast forward 6 months. The engine feels rough. A weird clicking sound at low RPMs. Then comes the dashboard Christmas tree. Warning lights everywhere. A slight delay when accelerating. And finally, the service bill. Turns out, you've just joined the PureTech Timing Belt Club. Not the fan club, the victims list. This isn't a rare defect. It's a systemic failure rooted in poor design. A wet timing belt that deteriorates from the inside out, silently shedding rubber into the oil system until it clogs something critical, like the oil pump, or the turbo feed, or worse, the entire lubrication circuit. Your options? Full engine flush belt replacement, possibly camshaft work. And if you're late, maybe a full top-end rebuild, and that's if you catch it early. Many drivers don't. They trust the car, they ignore the little symptoms, and one morning, it just dies. So yes, the 2008 is sleek. It turns heads. It makes you feel like you made a smart choice. But unless you've got proof of a replaced timing belt, or you're ready to spend €2,000 plus post-purchase, this crossover is less of a deal, and more of a trap. Audi A1. You think you've won. You finally land an Audi. Sharp, compact, prestigious. You picture yourself behind the wheel driving a refined German hatch that whispers success. But here's what no one tells you. Sometimes the worst mistake is trusting the badge. Let's talk about the Audi A1 1.0 TFSI. The model thousands pick thinking they're getting the baby A3 minus the cost. What they're really getting? An expensive lesson in false security. Here's the rundown. Turbo trouble. This car's turbo isn't built like other Audis. It's fragile. Really fragile. It doesn't wait until high mileage to act up. Some fail before 50,000 kilometers. Signs? Loss of power, metallic whining, black smoke. And when it goes, you're in for a 1,500 plus euro repair, assuming no engine damage. Sensor chaos. The A1's 1.0 engine has a nasty habit of throwing false alarms. O2 sensors, MAP sensors, knock sensors, all vulnerable. Expect regular warnings, trips to the mechanic, and a nagging feeling that something's always off. Injector headaches. Fuel injectors in these models are notorious for getting clogged or failing early. The result? Poor starts. Stuttering acceleration, extra fuel use, and yes, another round of expensive diagnostics. Noisy timing chain, and no, it's not normal. That ticking you hear when it idles? It's not just how small engines sound. It could be a chain issue, and if you wait too long, it becomes a €2,000 problem instead of a €200 fix. So here's the brutal truth. The Audi A 1.0 TFS looks like an upgrade, but it behaves like a liability. It lures in drivers who want luxury on a budget and traps them in a cycle of premium parts, premium labor, and endless repairs that kill the very value it promised. If you want an Audi experience, start one level up, because this entry model isn't just underpowered, it's underbuilt. There you have it. 7 cars that promise savings but often deliver stress. From failing belts to vanishing oil, unreliable sensors to fragile turbos. These models look great on paper, and that's exactly the problem. Because in the used car market, looks can be deceiving, and trusting the wrong engine can cost you more than just money. It'll steal your time, your patience, and sometimes your sanity. So before you sign that deal, research the engine, not just the badge. Don't let a great deal become a long-term regret. Now it's your turn. Have you owned any of the cars on this list? Did I miss one that deserves to be here? Drop your experience in the comments. Your story might save someone else from a costly mistake. And if you found this breakdown helpful, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss next week's upload, where I'll show you 7 used cars that are insanely reliable. The ones mechanics actually recommend. Because smart drivers don't just buy what looks good, they buy what lasts.